It's time for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Join your host, the accomplished Dr.Cherilyn Lee, as she welcomes the leading experts in health and well-being as they explore the advancements in natural health, physical fitness, nutrition, integrative medicine, and self-discovery.
Welcome, everyone, to another wonderful show as we always have exciting guests and wonderful information for to help edify your soul and edify your life. It's so important that we start off just loving. And right now, I need this, okay? Let's all just take a deep breath. Thank you. My first guest is just a wonderful lady, and not only wonderful, what she's been doing in the community for years has just been amazing. I'm going to let her tell more about it in this event that's coming up. Then I'll talk to you about my participation in this event and why it is a passion of mine to do what I do under my nonprofit. I have two sort of legs under my nonprofit. One is breast screening using thermography, and the other is entitled Beauty Shop Stroke Screening. And that's what I will be providing this Friday. So I want everybody to listen in. First of all, I want to introduce my first guest, who was absolutely wonderful, Dr. almost, Lena Kennedy.
Hi, Dr. Cherilyn Lee. So glad to be on your show today and to talk about the conference.
Yes.
And your participation and why we do what we do.
Yes. But first of all, tell me about you, because you are really an amazing young lady, and what you have been doing for years has been wonderful. Just tell me about you first.
Well, I'm a Pasadena girl, born and raised here, have, over a period of years, have had several careers in the philanthropic world, worked for a foundation, worked for the banking institution, and throughout all those processes and opportunities, I've always been involved in the community. And one of the things that happened 20 years ago was I was watching the news and I saw this woman that had breast cancer, African American, and I contacted her and said, what could I do to help? And she was advocating for federal dollars for research with African American women. And in that process, she said, if you could pull together, she worked at USC, she said, if you could pull together about 100 women, I will have doctors from USC come and talk to them. I did that. And that was the beginning of what is now the Southern California Women's Health Conference. That was 20 years ago. We did that with 100 people.
20 years ago. Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Congratulations on 20 years.
Thank you. Then 17 years ago, we formalized ourselves and became Southern California Women's Health. Now we're Health, Beauty, and Empowerment Conference and Expo.
Oh, it is wonderful, and I am so grateful and honored that I have been part of the conference for the last 5 years or so.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I maybe even longer, but I am.
It may be a little longer.
I think so. I am just honored that I'm always asked to always come back and to be part of something that's just so wonderful. And you've added another component called the Man Cave now.
Yes, we have. Before I talk about the Man Cave, I just have to say, your participation in your workshops are one of the highest attendees. We have about 4 speakers that we invite back every year because so many people demand your return.
Oh,
and that's why we continuously have you return because you have such a high demand for what you're offering to the community is phenomenal because they're getting something that sometimes they otherwise not be able to pay for. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you.
Now,
I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you.
That's why you're invited back every year.
Thank you.
Yes, so we did add something new. This is our 3rd year. We have a Man Cave, and we have 2 incredible speakers for the Man Cave. We have Dr. Rick Kittles from City of Hope, a renowned research doctor from City of Hope that will be focusing on prostate cancer.
Okay.
Then we have Dr. Lowy from San Diego University, hospital that will be focusing on pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
And that's going to take place in the man cave. Now, there are other fun things that happen in the man cave. We have dominoes, and they play cards, and they watch boxing
Oh
on
my
the
goodness, it's
big
actually a
screen,
man cave for
and they have
fun.
their little world that's happening over there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're getting educated, and they're also having fun.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. I know the men that are listening said, instead of driving my wife there or staying at home and she's gone all day, they can now attend. I think that was very genius of you to include such a component for the men. That was really wonderful. And
Yes.
I just want to say too, because of my passion of breast screening, I really wish that my machine, the CRT, was portable, but it isn't. And my other component is the stroke screening. And the reason why it seems though God just almost pushed me out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning one morning and said, "Look, you have to start doing what is called beauty shop stroke screening." And I'm thinking, oh, why would I want to do that? So I Googled beauty shop stroke screening and nothing came up. And finally, something came up with Dr. Oz and Dr. Gupta. So they did a whole 2-week series on women and stroke. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is horrible. So now, the research shows that women are actually are dying faster from a stroke than actually breast cancer. So
Wow.
that's why my two components for women is a stroke screening and breast screening, because I didn't realize until I went through all the research myself that twice as many women are dying from stroke than they are breast cancer. And it's sad. So we have 450,000 women each year in the United States who have strokes, but 6% of those women they don't make it, and the disability behind it is what's bad. And I'm really little. You might hear it in my voice a little bit. I'm very passionate about this, but last night I was on the phone with a friend who started having some very bizarre symptoms, because we do not have the same symptoms as men. And I told her, look, I don't like the way you're sounding. Your speech is getting a little slurred. Look, her husband was home. I said, call him really quick and call 911. And then on the way here today, a friend of mine called me with all these symptoms that was impending a stroke. I had to get her to call 911. Within, 24 hours, this is what I've been going through. And it's just so many women, and we have to. Screening is so important, prevention. So what I'll be doing at the workshop is doing the screening, but in my workshop, I'm going to be talking a lot about prevention, diet, what lab work you really need to know how healthy you are. So I will be covering a lot of information in that workshop. Plus, I'll be giving away some wonderful free gifts for the women to keep their breasts healthy.
That's going to be so exciting. Just to have you there and the work that you do, it changes lives of so many women.
Thank you.
And that's the beauty of your presentation opportunities, of people talking to you. They get it, and when you're educated, you make informed decisions. If we don't know this, we don't take it seriously. But once we know it, then we start looking at what we do, how we conduct our lives very differently.
Yes.
And we take better care of ourselves.
Yes.
And so I'm so grateful to have you and your expertise and all the services that you offer, because you don't just do the workshops. You offer services that folks otherwise would not be able to pay for.
Yes.
And screenings that are incredible.
Thank you.
And so we are so thankful and grateful to have your partnership.
Thank you so much. And it's always an honor to be there, and an honor to be around all the people. You have people that are speaking that are very dear friends of mine. Dr. Barbara Young is a very dear friend. I had to give her a shout out, and she's just wonderful, fabulous lady. I don't know everyone that's speaking, but she is a wonderful, wonderful person. And
we have some incredible speakers.
On
our morning panel, we have, just to give you just a glimpse of what happens in the morning, we have a morning panel, and we have Dr. I'm saying doctor because we're so used to saying health conference and everything is about the doctors.
Yes.
morning we're speaking on empowerment, women and empowerment. And we have Christina Martin, who's an executive vice president at Odin Capital Group. We have Keisha Nix, who's LA Lakers Foundation executive director.
Okay.
We have Rebecca Still Roven Oakley, who's the vice president of productions of Atlas Entertainment and the executive producer of Wonder Woman.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, and we have the Honorable Betty Yee, which is a California State Controller. She's flying in. And then we have Pastor Kyler Franklin, who's a young man that's going to do the keynote speak in the morning and close it out. And then we have a wonderful Pastor Jean Birch who's going to be doing our prayer. So we have an incredible lineup in the morning, and that's just the morning session. That's not even the workshops.
That's not even a workshop.
So then,
I'm going to have a busy day Friday, you know. I'm
yeah,
going to
you
bed,
do. And then we have
early.
Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, who's speaking in the afternoon at the luncheon. And we have the renowned attorney, Connie Rice, who's going to be one of the keynote speakers at the luncheon that morning. So we have a really packed day with exciting things that will be happening. Our workshops, we have 7 workshops on health and breast cancer and strokes. That's one track. Then we have a track on beauty, and then we have a track on empowerment. So it's going to be an exciting day.
It's going to be wonderful. And I have a young lady doctor in the studio with me, and she's going. I know you're going to have her as part of your event next year. She's just fabulous.
Oh, good.
Yes, wait till you hear about her and her background. She is just wonderful, and I'm so thank you that Dr. Cindy Brown is a guest today. So she will. I know you're going to listen to her background and what she does. Just a fabulous lady. But you have, like I said, the event is wonderful. I'm so glad we're at the Hilton. No,
we're at the Hilton Hotel
in Pasadena.
We have Hilton Hotel in Pasadena. We have some incredible sponsors. This is a free conference. That's what's important.
Yes.
This conference is free. The Expo is free. No one has to pay to go to a workshop. No one has to pay to go to the exhibit hall. It's wonderful, and it's made possible through and because of incredible sponsors like Wells Fargo, our presenting sponsors. Then we have Methodist Hospital. We have Jihi Ha. We have UPS. We have Johnson & Johnson. We have Supervisor Catherine Barger, Huntington Hospital. We have the Gas Company. We have Enterprise. We have AT&T. We have Boeing. These sponsors make this conference possible for over 2,000 women and men to come through and don't have to pay. It's because of the great partnerships that we have with people like Methodist Hospital and Wells Fargo, and that have been with us for years.
Wonderful. And, I just want to let people know, is it too late for them to still register, even though the event is Friday?
Oh, no.
Wonderful.
Please, go online and register. Absolutely.
Yeah, and please register for my workshop. We're going to show what the carotid artery stroke screening look like live. We will be providing them in the workshop as I do a wonderful presentation there as well. But then we have a booth, and we will be providing stroke screening throughout the day.
Wow. I have to make sure I stop by there.
Yes, and it only takes 2 or 3 minutes, so you're in and out real quick.
Great.
And you won't mess up your makeup, ladies. And I know we're using all natural makeups because I know who you were using last year, and we know that she has an organic line of makeup. I don't know if you want to say it, but I don't know if she's there this year. But I'm just so happy that we do have natural makeup. We do know that a lot of makeup is leading to thyroid cancers and other cancers as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, as you learn more, sometimes it can be somewhat daunting, but I think it's important, the makeup you put on, the deodorant you use, there's so many incredible things that we have been doing for many, many years and didn't know that it was causing all types of harm to our body.
Yes.
We have a company that's coming called Tampon Tribe, for women that are still making babies, and that what they put on their body for during their cycle, how you don't want to put that poison in your system.
Right.
And all their products are natural. So these kinds of informational gathering and tools that are provided are critical to us having a quality life.
Most
So
definitely.
we have the gamut, not just workshops. We have vendors that give us information, and it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's just amazing.
And I had a show, and it was entitled Vagina Going Green. So
Oh,
yes. So
wow! How interesting.
I do speak on it too, vagina going green, and also how to have a healthy yoni at any age. so
I love it.
so I have to do a workshop on one of those one year as
You
well.
have to.
Yes. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So there is a book coming out. It's called Vagina Going Green. The book will be ready in another couple of months.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Yes. Because as women, we have to, do all we can at any age, and things are happening. So, our former Congresswoman Diane Watson is my spokesperson for women with urinary incontinence. So,
Oh, excellent.
yeah, so that's one of the things that I work with people, with women with very closely. But, back to the stroke screening. So I really, really, my workshop is from 10:45 to, what is it, 11:15 or something like that. But anyway, just be on time at 10:45. But we have
Yes,
so many wonderful workshops. Wonderful
wonderful
workshops.
workshops. And go online and register. And if you don't have time to register, show up and you'll still have a wonderful experience.
Yes, you will, because I know it was pretty booked last time, and they said, "Oh, you didn't have that many people." It was a lot to register, but it was more people in the room. So I'm just thankful that, and I've been in 2 comas, and I know the second time coming back here, which I didn't want to, and most people who've been in comas will say that, is because this is part of my job. But it's, not just a job, it is my passion. My passion is to do all I can to help people to heal and to have the right information. And if I don't know it, I'm going to research it. You best believe I will research it from the sources and bring it to you. So it's not just some anecdotal, but it is research. But some things that's anecdotal, they work really well. I wouldn't be here today after comas and you name it, and I'm still standing and soon to be a grandmother of 10.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's what it's all about, us living a quality life, investing in our family and our children and our friends, and giving back.
Yes. And before we leave with you, I'm going to, I want you to, take a couple of minutes, and what do you want our listeners to kind of walk away with as far as information?
What I want them to walk away with is www.thesocalhealthconference.com. www.thesocalhealthconference.com, because that's the tool that's going to get you to get some knowledge. I want you to
Wonderful.
take that website, click on it, register, and come and get the knowledge you need to live a quality lifestyle. And we're doing something this year called What's Your 3? 3 things you put into your life and 3 things you take out.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
I love that.
yeah.
And what our next guest is going to talk about, some of it would be stress. So we really have to remove some of the stress in our lives, because that is destroying so many people. I can
Yes, it
imagine.
is.
So she's going to go over some ways to alleviate stress as well. We have to. But I love that. That is so wonderful. I don't know what they are, so I'll find out Friday. Now, tell everyone what time it starts as well.
It starts at 8 a.m., get there at 7:30 for registration, and it concludes at 3:30 with a fabulous fashion show by One Strut. It's an entertainment fashion show by One Strut.
One
and
Strut.
We conclude from 3 o'clock to 3:30. It's going to be fabulous.
I should have been in the fashion show. You
You should have been.
You see my wonderful pink top. I design clothes as well.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay, next year you have to be in the show.
You wait till you see me tomorrow. I designed my shoes to go with my suit. So
I can't wait to see. I can't wait.
And this is what helps alleviate my anxiety, is using my creativity to do things of that nature. So I just love doing things of that nature. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you find the time?
While I'm talking to people on the phone, I just keep busy. But I want to thank you again for Lena Kennedy. That's actually my family name, my family's relative, my aunt, and well, she's no
Oh,
longer with us, but my family, their last name is Kennedy also. And every time I
wow.
say your name, I'm like, oh, gee, I got to call my family, you know. But I just want to thank you so much, Miss Lena Kennedy, and you have done 20 years of fabulous work, and um, just so many wonderful people are involved, and people walk away with so much information, which is phenomenal. And I just thank you so much. Thank you for being
Thank you.
thank you for being on the show. I would love to have you here in person, but we will next year make sure that you're in the studio.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you for all that you do and for having me here today.
Thank you so much for being here. And take a look at the show. You're going to love Jarvis is my producer here, and he does amazing things. And he's magic, and he's intuitive. So he have a lot of information on the screen dealing with the conference. So we're going to,
Fantastic.
it will be up on YouTube tomorrow. The show will. Well, we will be sending it out over and over. And please, everyone who's watching the show, please share it. Share, share, share with your friends and family. Let's get as many people there as possible because information is power. Information is power.
Absolutely.
And prevention is priceless. So please join us.
Absolutely.
Please join us Friday. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, my wonderful next guest. I am just thrilled to have her here, especially on such a short notice. But in reading her bio, she is an amazing, amazing lady. We did send out an e-blast with her bio, so a lot of you had a chance to read it. If not, you can go online, but we don't want to take up a lot of time reading her bio. So what I'm going to do, is have Dr. Cindy Brown. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. And Dr. Brown is going to share, or actually, I want you to tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. I'm a behavior specialist and a licensed psychotherapist, a doctor of psychology, and over the past 25 years, I have transformed and helped people understand their behavior, their communication, their relationships, so they can have a healthier, happier life. And I'm very dedicated to help people, really understand the inner workings of their body, their mind, and why they do the things they do.
Right. And that is so powerful because dealing with the emotional component, and a lot of times people are not aware, why am I doing what I'm doing? Some things I wonder why I don't want to. My kids said that I need a therapist because they claim that they feel that I'm a hoarder. And once I go home sometimes I agree with them, but I get home so late. They said, well, Mom, those are all the excuses of a hoarder. But I'm making changes now that I've met such a wonderful therapist as well.
Yeah, I really teach people to not judge their behavior, but to look at it and assess it and, give yourself a little maybe loving guidance. And maybe that's what I can give our audience today is this isn't about looking at your behavior and making yourself wrong and judging yourself because that causes more stress.
Yes, it does.
It's about looking at it and saying, that's really interesting about me. Would I like to choose to change? Let's see. So it's really about let's look at assessing and understanding, and then making that choice to change if you choose to.
Yeah, well, I choose to because I can't find things sometimes.
Yeah,
So
that could be a
I
problem.
choose to. But I find everything when it's needed.
Well, that's a good point. When you have actually a reason to do something, you're more likely to do it. If it's for somebody else, if it's for your kids, or it's for your spouse, or for somebody else, you're more likely to be a little rebellious, and you may not take that next step. But because you're saying you want to do it for yourself, that's a great first step.
I love that. I love that. A lot of times people who are listening sometimes will kind of say, that sounds like something I'm going through. I love case studies. So if you can, because your background is so extensive,
Yes.
I mean, you're an incredible lady, and then you have 2 books, right?
Yes, I wrote a relationship book, The Cinderella System, and you can find it on Amazon. And that was really my journey through understanding myself. Why was I not choosing the right person? And it's really a self-discovery in order for you to either have a better relationship with who you are with or find a better mate. And I actually wrote a chapter in another book with about 40 entrepreneurs on some self-care principles. But, my background, I come from a very stressful home. I came from a home with a depressed mother who would, basically locked herself in her room most of her life, and a very kind of angry, overworked father. They both worked in the home. So on the outside, it looked like I lived in the perfect home, both parents at home. But inside, if you were to look inside, there was a lot of loneliness. There was a lot of me doing everything on my own. I guess that's why I became an entrepreneur and a very motivated person, because I had to do everything on my own.
Yes.
So even though there was a lot of stress, if we can look at our stress, sometimes out of stress comes amazing things that we do.
Yes.
And if we can turn our stress into understanding, and then turn understanding into transforming ourselves and then transforming others, then that's a good thing. So I see my childhood and my upbringing as a blessing, even though it was challenging at the time.
Yes.
I did become a coach and a therapist because of the experiences I had in my household. So I do honor that. That was my journey.
And I think as practitioners, when we've had experiences, we're more able to help and identify other people. So when you have a client in front of you, like I do, you can almost look in their eyes and say, something's just not right. Something is left out.
Intuitively, yes.
And you could just feel it. You could, because you've been there.
Yes.
Because I had one person who, he just did not want to live. And I looked at him and I said, I know you're not going to commit suicide. That you're not going to do. But why is it you don't want to live? He said, well, how did you know that? I said, maybe because I've been there.
Yeah, me too.
Been there.
Been there.
Some years ago. I mean, many, many years after a divorce, some 30-some years ago. So things will kind of put us through something. But then you can easily identify it. So you can say, look, I'm still here.
Yes.
I have a great life.
I have a passion and a purpose.
Exactly.
And that's what keeps me going.
Yes.
We do have to have that passion and purpose to keep going, especially when we have so much stress. That's the topic today is, what do we do with our stress? How does that stress impact our body? And you were mentioning a case study. There's a woman that I'm working with right now. I'll call her Susan.
Yes.
And she is a single mother raising a 12-year-old daughter, and she's a teacher, and she has lots of responsibilities, and she comes to my office haggard every week. And she's getting better, definitely. But the first thing I had her do is I had her tell me a typical day.
Yes.
It's really important to see what she does and how much she tries to cram into a day. And what I want to tell women is this. I want people to overestimate the time it takes to do things rather than underestimate.
I like that.
The reason why is when you overestimate, there's space in between. There's space to recalibrate your body, to breathe in a meditative place. But when I see any person have a schedule where I couldn't do that many things, and I have less responsibilities than she does, and I just have no wonder. You mean no wonder. So I started, giving her suggestions on, what she could do differently, give herself more time here, drop this out, have her daughter, like she was doing so many things for her daughter, and her daughter was old enough to do them herself. Like I was doing most of the stuff at 5 years old that her daughter's still not doing. So I said, I think it's really time that you let go and you allow your daughter to do more things. You're going to actually help her later in life. So that was the first thing, is assess your life. And if you can't do it, because you're clouded by your own life. Have
Yes.
somebody else, have a coach or a therapist look at your life. So that's the first
And
part
it should
of
be
it.
a professional.
It can be a professional, a coach,
You know,
a therapist.
Coach, but what I'm saying, not a friend.
No, well, I mean,
Sometimes.
if a friend is can be professional with
Yeah.
you and can look at it
Exactly.
in that
Exactly.
way. After that, then it's, will you take feedback from somebody? And that's the biggest thing. You can go to a coach or a therapist, but if you don't take the feedback, we're not supposed to give advice, but we're going to give you feedback. These are some of the areas that you could change. So there's assessment, and then there's feedback, and then there's receiving the feedback. The feedback's really important. Are you going to choose to do something? If you don't start with something, nothing can change. Right?
Yes.
Insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. So we don't want that. We want change in some way. So do that little thing and then feel the result of it, and then use that momentum to do the next step.
Yes.
So in the case of Susan, she started taking things out, and then she was able to have the space. She wasn't used to the space. She actually was addicted to, now listen to this, she was addicted to this crazy pace.
Oh, yes.
So she drank coffee, she did all these things, and I'm like, okay, we've got to get used to more of a zen kind of flowing,
Yes.
having space to take out a book from your purse. Like, I always have a book or something to do when I get there early, because people say, well, I don't want to get there early, then what do I do with myself? Wow, isn't that interesting? I have a list of 10 things I do when I get to a place early.
My. But you look very calm today because you were here before I was.
Yes, because I live what I speak.
Yes.
I like to take more than enough time. I prepare ahead of time. That's another thing. It's like I looked at yesterday, I looked at the map. Okay, at this time, what is the traffic to get here? And, I did a little research. So preparation is really important for stress. They say the people that tolerate stress the best have these 5 principles. Let me see if I can remember. They trust themselves. They prepare. They have a good support network. They have a certain faith, a higher power. They believe in something. And, there's one more. I read this online. I would say, they can emotionally manage themselves.
Okay.
So all of those things are important to you managing stress in your life. You've got to assess it. You've got to give yourself some feedback, or have somebody give you feedback about what your life is about and how is it going. And then you've got to change something, and then you've got to give yourself praise. You've got to give yourself praise. Pat yourself on the back. Celebrate even that little thing you're doing that's making a difference, because stress is deadly.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
Being a doctor, that it is deadly. Your higher cortisol levels. Cortisol causes weight gain, sleeping problems, diminishes our hormones, hurts our reproductive cycle, our immune system.
Your hair falls out.
Your hair falls out.
Thins.
Everything. And so many things. We don't want to put our body into a constant state of feeling like it's going to be attacked. And that's basically what the fight or flight does to us. If we are constantly thinking or feeling like we have to, flee or fight something, our body naturally, biologically is in that state.
Right.
That is really not a good place to put ourselves
And I just want to add, too, unfortunately, I see a lot of cancer patients. And if once I take their history, you'll see the stress.
Yes.
I can do it all. I have another guest who talks about women being Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah.
And we try to do it all. And those are a lot of the people who that things start to happen. And then looking at the emotional component too. But in the lab test that you described is so important. And at this point, I always tell people they can actually do those tests themselves. They can order them themselves. Their 24-hour urine cortisol level to know, because that, leads to everything you just said, including cancer, including hypertension, including depression, and it goes on and on and on. Instead of you being treated with antidepressive medication, let's do something about it and help with the emotional component so you don't have to do that or take the medication. If it's needed, I won't even say that part. But let's just take care of each step at a time. Because once you outline, just like you just did, Dr. Brown. Once you do that, we can come to grips what we need to turn around and do. And then take some walks, some walks. If you're not near a beach, take some
Yes.
walks. The deep breathing is the easiest thing. I tell people, go in the restroom sometime. Sometimes you just have to get off the phone if this conversation is stressful and say, I need to get back with you, and hang up.
Yes,
You
I need
know.
a time out. We give
Time out.
kids time
I
out.
like that, yes.
Because they're naughty or whatever, but we need to give ourselves a good time out. That's self-care.
Yes.
That's self-love. And I always help people think of their happy place. We all have a place. Maybe it's the last vacation they've been to or a spot in the vacation. I just was in Tahiti a month or so ago, and there was a place on the beach where I would look out and I could see the water and the huts and the breeze. And sitting there, like instantly, you can anchor that in your body, and your blood pressure will go down. Your breathing will,
Yes.
equalize, and your body will. And you could do that for 30 to 60 seconds. And you will, if you were put on some, biological machine to test all your vitals,
Biofeedback,
they would show that you were in that happy place. So find your happy place, do the breathing, take your time outs, for those seconds or minutes. Believe me, those are ways of taking a vacation.
Most definitely.
From your stress.
From your own stress.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like I said, if you can excuse yourself, if you're in the midst of people, just excuse yourself for a minute and go do those.
Yeah, on the
do
toilet.
those steps.
Right?
Yes, and I started to say that, but thank you. You said it.
Hey, it's the golden throne.
Yeah. Let me just ask a question here because we're going to run out of time.
Yes.
Dealing with relationships and stress. And I know
Yes.
that could be. You're going to come back and we're going to go into more
Okay,
detail
we'll
with
do
that.
it.
But relationships and stress, and that's why I see a lot of that with people who are ill if they're staying in a toxic relationship. So,
Expectations, number one.
okay.
Expectations and assumptions cause more stress in a relationship. We have this already always listening, or this story running in our head all the time, and then we react to our partner. We have expectations what they should do or they should not do, or they have it of us. It causes the most stress in a relationship. So if we can be open and curious and ask questions versus making people wrong, we'll have more of a win-win. That's one of the number
like
one
that.
things
I
I
like that.
teach is let's be open. Nobody likes to feel that they're wrong. From being a child, when we are disciplined or communicated to, we have this relationship with most of our parents, and that parents have to tell children when they're doing something wrong. And so what happened is that it's embedded inside us, and we get into a relationship and somebody has a tone or a body language or communication that triggers that. We immediately get into stress. We immediately get into defense. Shame gets triggered, which is a number one uncomfortable feeling.
Oh, yes.
And especially for men,
Yes.
even more than females. Shame is something that men avoid, will shut down. You will get no communication. So we have to avoid triggering shame in each other. And if we can be really dedicated to respect and love and like and create that in the relationship without the stories and assumptions, we can have a lot less stress in the relationship. I know that's a lot,
Yes.
but this is what I teach people. I give people communication scripts. I watch their body language. I look at their communication. Then I give them feedback, and then they practice, or they choose to practice with each other in front of me, and I get them. Nobody gets a manual when they get a relationship that says this is what you should do.
No.
And we should. But the problem is people would decide on what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
Exactly.
But we do need skills in that.
Yeah. I just want to say you're located in California,
Culver City, yes.
Culver City,
Los
and
Angeles.
you want to give your website out?
Sure. My website is drcbrown.com. And you can find me on all social media, Dr. Cindy Brown. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I think my website's up on the show right now. And I see clients in my office in Culver City, but I also do video sessions and
Wonderful.
phone sessions as well.
Okay. Well, I'm just honored that you took the time out of your busy schedule
Yes.
and came to the studio to be a guest here. So just really wonderful. Now, we have a few minutes left. Now, what would you want a person to take home to remember?
I think the most important thing for people to do in the world we live in right now is be kind and loving and
Yes.
understanding of themselves. I think we're very hard on ourselves, and we expose ourselves to a lot of negativity. I think we need to all take a lot of time outs to tune in and ask ourselves, what do we need really inside that's healthy and will make ourselves a better human being?
Yes.
And really listen to that inner voice. I really believe we have a lot of wisdom inside.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And, once you love yourself and you honor yourself and you just take the time to show yourself more passion, you would do this to others. Yes. A smile is free. You can give a smile out to a stranger. A smile is free. You can't walk up and hug everyone because people might think something's a little wrong with you there. But with your friends in place. But most important, start your day and hug yourself. Yes. Let yourself know that you love yourself unconditionally. And I tell people to hug themselves in front of a mirror naked. Because that's the best way that you can say, I love myself unconditionally when I'm standing there. And take a look at yourself, because most people get dressed and do things and they don't really look at themselves.
Yes.
Look at yourself. Look deep into your own eyes. Look at yourself from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes and say, I love every inch of my body. And love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you don't cause chaos at work. And there's not so much bitterness in the world.
And
Start
you give
with
that,
yourself.
you give oxytocin to yourself. We
Yes.
get oxytocin from other people, but when we do that, we actually give oxytocin to ourselves. When we pet animals, we get oxytocin. So hugs, petting animals and giving lovely hugs is good oxytocin, feel-good hormones.
Full feel-good hormones. So do
Yeah.
this for yourself. Start your day that way. I do. That's why I come in here with a smile. At least you see it once a week, but no, this is every day. And because I just wake up and I'm just grateful for another day. And so I want to say, make sure now this Friday, November 3rd, because I know this show is going to be taped and people might hear it later. But if you have any questions about stroke screening, you can always call my office at 310-419-4300. Also with the CRT breast screening that I do in my office. You can always call to schedule an appointment for that. But we do so many things. I do nutritional IVs that we call IV therapies by the C. So you can come in and get a vitamin C push, and we have a wonderful discount right now as well. So give me a call Dr. Cindy Brown, and we hope to hear from you soon. I am just so grateful again to be working with people here at UBN and having Jarvis as my wonderful producer. He is a genius. So I'm hoping everyone loves the show. Please share. Because each life that you touch, you might be saving one by sharing the show, especially when it comes to strokes. But not just that, what leads to a stroke. And we did talk about the stress. But the relationships, we're going to have Ms. Brown, Dr. Brown, in again here at the studio, and we're going to go much deeper on relationships because there's so much more to talk about to stay in a healthy relationship and stay healthy yourself. So as I say in departing, what do I say, everyone? Repeat after me. I am so grateful that I am a magnet for miracles. And so are you. Blessings.
Join us every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. for NuWellness TV with Dr. Lee. Remember, healthy mind, healthy body.